Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Chasing Rabbits. My name is Scott Brown, and you found my vlog dedicated to trying to help you become the leader you always wished that you could become. So this is a week that is really focused on service. We started out the week with MLK Day, a day where we don't just celebrate the life of Martin Luther King Jr., but we also celebrate the legacy of his service towards all mankind, of how he gave the best of himself to others to help them succeed. And then today on, Wednesday? Today's Wednesday, Inauguration Day, we also celebrate the service of those willing to step forward and serve America, to serve this country in offices that really, for the most part, if you think about it, it's really a losing proposition. You are going to be hated by half the population. Half of your customers, half of your followers are going to hate you because you're not them. We're that divided right now. But yet we still have a country full of individuals that are willing to take that step forward, to serve others, to try to make the whole better, to serve the many instead of the few. So this is a week really that's about service. And today really got me thinking, reminiscing about times when I have really understood that service component. And I don't think any of them really capture the moment as effectively as my Toastmasters journey when I actually won District 84's speech evaluation title. And it's not that I won the title, it's about the journey towards that win. For years, my friend Jeremy and I had talked about, wouldn't it be great if the two of us could make the finals, compete against each other in the finals, instead of at the club level? But with the rules of Toastmasters, you have to compete from a different club then, because you can't send two people on. There's only one person per club that goes, one person per area, one person per division. It was impossible. So one day, I remember sitting out in the front of Denny's after a meeting on those hard concrete benches and talking to Jeremy. And he was expressing this passion. You could see it in his eyes, you could hear it in his voice, you could feel the energy, you could feel the hope coming from him that one day that's what he wanted to do. And you could feel how important it was to him that he had the opportunity to make the district finals one year, and that he and I would meet there and represent our club with two people from the same club in the finals. I recognized the opportunity to give more to somebody else. So I left and I joined a different club. I went and joined Vista Toastmasters, and I ended up competing that year out of a different area, different division. And he and I did make the finals that year. I remember very vividly the night of the finals. We had driven to the location. It was at World Golf Village in St. Augustine, and he and I drove up together. And I remember that night how nervous he was. I remember how he kept rubbing his hands, how his palms just wouldn't stop sweating, how he just had this little trickle of perspiration that constantly was coming down like by his ear. He was so nervous. When the contest started that night, I remember looking at him and thinking, I've been here before many times. I have a lot of trophies for it, but how can I help him? And it was one last attempt, because he and I had been coaching each other all the way through it. I had been helping him with his delivery, with the process as we went through this. And I remember pulling a chair into the aisle and sitting right beside him, finding him a clipboard for him to write on, because it's not something that they give you when you get to the finals, making sure he had the proper view, he had all of the proper tools. And then we sat there and we listened to his speech together. We made our own notes. When we went back into the room to prepare our notes, I remember when he finished, he was literally bouncing off the walls. He couldn't contain his energy. He was literally just jumping up and down and bouncing off the walls. I remember grabbing him and be like, dude, this is no different from all of the times that we have been at Toastmasters together. It's just another venue, just with better food. Relax. And you can see kind of the energy start to seep out of him, but in a good way. You could see the color come back in his face, and you could see him breathing again. When he went up that day, he said that when he sat down from giving his evaluation, he was positive that he was going to win that night. I went 3 people later, and he said when I got back to the table that he knew by that time that I was going to win that night. And I did. But when I won, the thing that I remember most about winning that night wasn't being called as the winner, wasn't the trophy. I remember running through the crowd to get to Jeremy, because I knew how much this moment meant to him and his journey. and how I had helped him get somewhere, and how important that was to me, that I was able to invest in somebody else's journey to do the thing that they wanted most, and to help them become a person that they were always striving to become and have been stuck. I had invested the best of myself to help somebody else find the best of whom they were supposed to be. And I remember running right past Bob Fisher, who's holding the trophy out, and I went right past him, grabbed Jeremy in a huge bear hug, picked him up and swung him around. And that is what I remember most, was the feeling of giving. Now, a lot's changed since then. We live in Indiana now. Things are very different. But today, this week of service has reminded me of how important that is, to be able to help others move forward, to help others come along, to take somebody where they are when you see potential and help them grow into who they can possibly be. I submitted my paperwork today to become district director here for next year, to take the next step from program quality director for district director, which means some of you can no longer comment and share these videos, and that's okay. But I did so because I think that there's something in all of us that we grow when we help somebody else grows. I heard a quote today that resonated so strongly with me. I've heard it many times before, but in the context of today, it just really hit home. And that is, have malice towards none, but charity for all. Have malice towards none, but charity for all. Don't hold somebody else accountable for them being the worst version of themselves. Everyone's going to make mistakes. Everyone's going to have a low point. Give them charity. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Allow them to take the next step, to pick themselves up, to help them up, to move forward and leave behind whatever it was that they failed or struggled at. Having malice towards none means you're not going to hold grudges against those that may have insulted you or wronged you in some way in the past, but you're going to let that go and move forward to help the whole get better. And that's really what being a leader is. Helping the many, not the few. Helping the many. So I'm proud to be able to run next year for District 11 District Director. I would have never thought a few years ago I would do this. This was not on my radar whatsoever. But that concept of service from that one night, from that one journey in 2017 that culminated in a big trophy that doesn't hold alcohol, we've tried, reminds me of the feeling you get when you help somebody else accomplish their goals. And I think that is the greatest thing we can possibly do, not just as leaders, but in life. I'll leave you with that tonight. Help somebody else get the thing that they want most. And you might just find that you get what you want most. Until tomorrow, my friends, toast on. Have a wonderful night. Be well.